monologues in a dialogue, walking through the fog. Maybe I'm a fraud, try to find myself somewhere in Argentina. I think I'm back home, sorry had to leave you. Counting calories, got no salary. Eat a salad, dude, unsatisfactory. Need no melody in my reality. Sipping daiquiris, no more factory. She's probably mad at me, living unhappily. I live in malady, in a menagerie. Originality, technicality. You don't believe me? Check my gallery. Personality, bleak mentality. Save the flattery, I don't need it. I got an ego, I'm pretty primo. Save your money.
I started rapping when I was about 12 years old. I guess I started as I lived in Detroit and moved out of the city because my grandfather owned the home that we lived in and he kicked us out. So we went out to, we moved about 45 minutes away from the city and I didn't have many friends. So I started writing a lot. I just was writing all the time, listening to music. And I kind of found like a therapy in what I was doing. And a way to deal with like depression and things that I was going through, personal issues that I was going through, and music became almost a friend, I guess. And I got into it, and that's really it was very young, very personal, and that's how I started. Early on, it was actually Snoop Dogg was really early on one of my. I don't sound like that at all, but Snoop Dogg was early on one of my favorites. I was listening to a lot of mainstream rap actually when I was young. I remember listening to Ja Rule and Ludacris, and then I started getting into more the people that really I think influenced me the most were artists underground artists. A friend's older sister had a CD, a mixtape, and it just had rhyme sayers and Def Jux, all sorts of stuff that I sort of figured out a whole new world of underground rap. So then I was listening to Atmosphere, listening to Blue and Exile, and that's when I found out music would be really personal for me. Yeah, I mean, Eminem, Royce da 5'9" was huge. Royce da 5'9", especially when I was 15, 16 years old, Royce was huge. Slum Village with Elzai and Dilla. I mean, those are huge influences, and but it was, outside of Detroit that I think I was more influenced by music outside of Detroit early on, and then later in life I became more influenced by Detroit artists. Actually about maybe almost 4 years ago. I think I graduated from university. I went to university, and when I got out, I didn't want to do anything normal. I didn't want to go work at Detroit is famous for the auto industry, for cars, and I didn't want to do anything like that. I wanted to work as an artist, so I got out of school and just went really, really hard into it, and that's when I met Apollo Brown, is when it really started to change for me.
I don't give two fucks who I'm standing with. I demand the attention span of the pre-internet man, the preeminent. I don't see limits, I preach limits, I'm vehement, I'm behemoth. Goliath killing, Bob and Weave in it. I'm adamant that God put me in it to stop the bleeding. I got a reason to breathe, and I'm breathing till I'm wheezing and heaving over and colder with demon on shoulder, telling me I'm the one that God couldn't move. So I'm Jehovah, or maybe Hover. I fill my grail until it runneth over with rum and cola. A fucking soldier, if the walk matched the talk rappers, it sound like God. Steadily leave us disappointed like they sound like Nas. I'm not your old friend, the new kid on this block. You notice me like a 3 in a set of even numbers. Mello got the vehicle, I'm steering the wheel. 2015 will be the year of the pill.
him, I was like 20, and we were at a judging a beat battle. Like, producers came in, and I was a judge because it was like the local scene where I was at. I was known, and so they brought me in, and then they brought Apollo Brown, and I met him there. I talked to him a little bit and gave him my CD. He didn't really pay much attention to me. It was not till maybe like a year and a half later that he asked me to work with him and do Ugly Heroes. I wanted to write an album about my generation, like our generation, the people in their 20s and what they're going through, and tell it from my personal experience. So when I got out of school, I worked at a plant for a little bit, an auto shop, and I was not making not a lot of money. I was drinking a lot. I was having relationship issues with my girlfriend. So I wanted it to be personal, but I feel like a lot of people in our generation feel sort of lost, like they don't know what to do. Because the earlier generations were like, they knew that you go get a good job, you buy a house, you have kids, and our generation is sort of different and sort of in the middle. So I wanted it to be that, about our generation through my personal experiences.
And there's some mornings that I wanna cry. Feel like I'm mourning, but nobody died. Put on some music, take a morning drive. Try to remember that there's more than I made a promise and I swore to God I'll break that promise around 4 or 5.
I've kind of joked with him that maybe we'll do something, and it's sort of it just depends on the timing. He's very busy, I'm very busy on other things, but I love working with Laurent. I think that some of my favorite songs that I've done have been with him. He had one on his project that he asked me to be on that I really loved, and then he had 2 projects on, or 2 beats on my new album that were, yeah, that's okay. And honestly, it's one of my favorites too, so maybe I'll talk to him because I'm hearing it a lot now.
It's like, that's alright, maybe in another life.
It brought me a whole new audience. I mean, I think that a lot of people really trust Mello Music Group as a brand. So when I was able to come in, when Mello Music Group signs Red Pill, Mello Music Group fans now know Red Pill and they're excited. So I think it's just a big new audience. Mello Music Group is incredible. They're all about the art. It's all about art, making good music first, and then we worry about the money and everything later. So it's important for me.
I don't think this world was meant for me. Now I believe that to the nth degree.
At this point, like, I just get a little bit here and there. Like, I'm working on some songs with Odyssey. I definitely want to work with Apollo Brown again, and maybe with and I definitely would love to work with Laurent again. But I'm hoping another Ugly Heroes project. But everyone's busy. Verbal Ken is putting out a new album soon. Apollo Brown has at least 2 more albums. So it's just about finding the right time.
Failure of identity, but hey, that's okay. Tomorrow